Greetings to you all, I'm Chappers.
And I'm the captain.
Welcome to this wondrous and probably will be a really good review at Andertons.co.uk in Guildford.
What makes you think that, Rob?
Because historically that's been proven to be the fact.
Okay, Seymour Duncan, the lovely people from America who I guess you are best known for making pickups, pups,
Yes.
as we often shorten it to. And they make pedals, amongst other things as well. And they make a distortion pedal called the Palladium.
Palladium. Now the Palladium's something in England, isn't it?
When I used to play Dungeons and Dragons when I was a teenager, was I a Palladium?
You were a paladin.
A paladin!
You were a knight with powers only for good.
Of course I was.
Some magicka, some bravery, much luck,
Were you
many
allowed
strength.
to be? I do remember being a teenager and playing Dungeons and Dragons until unbelievably late in the night, which is probably why I failed all my college exams. I vaguely remember I actually wasn't what was it? A paladin.
Paladin.
I wasn't one of those. I was a druid.
You were a druid.
And as we got towards the end of like this, you know, once we've been playing for like 2 years, the dungeon master just kind of went, I don't really care about this anymore. I'm just going to let you level up ridiculously. So
Right.
I ended up with this unbelievably omnipotent druid.
That's really
that could just
incredible. What was the druid's name?
Can I just whisper it to you? Because it was like a college sort of... His name was...
Of course it was. Well, I also delved into the dungeons of my childhood and I played Tunnels and Trolls. Anybody remember Tunnels and Trolls? A lot of dice.
What kind of character were you
A lot
then?
of trolls. I was a warrior there. But I was always an elf, archer, preferred the archery, and a bit of sorcery. Love those days.
Love
And
those
they're backed
days.
by a Seymour
Yes,
Duncan
they are. Sorry, where
in
are
this
we? Back in the
incredible-
room. So the
Buy
Palladium...
this, it's plus 10 luck, minus 3 dexterity.
Roll the dice.
and
There we are.
extra
I've just
health.
defeated you with a sword.
Yes.
Okay, so the Palladium is basically, if you read the web spec on the Seymour Duncan website, it kind of reads a bit like every single distortion pedal web spec that there is, which is, you know, we've created a pedal that sounds great into a clean amp or into a distorted amplifier and sounds like a tube amplifier, and you just go, yeah, everybody says that. So I guess proof is in the pudding. Let's hear what it does. It's certainly got more knobs than your average distortion pedal.
Well, I'm looking forward to this pudding, that's for sure.
So, did I say pudding?
You said proof is in the pudding.
Proof is in the pudding. So we've got essentially level gain to do your amounts of distortion, and then a bunch of EQ-based stuff. So bass, parametric mid-range, treble, presence, a resonance control, which is, it's sort of, it's fatness, maybe, that kind of vibe. And then this extra button here is boost.
More.
Now, first things first, I was a bit sad-faced because the boost doesn't work independently.
No, I know, that's the first thing I noticed.
It only works to boost if you've got the distortion on.
That's a shame. You'd think that would be a simple, just connect that wire to that wire.
Yeah,
and then it does that thing.
It is what it is. So what we've done is we've put, we've plugged 2 amps in. So we have a very clean Fender, which is here. We have a reasonably crunchy Victory RD1. Or we can have them both together. Which sounds wonderful. So what we're going to do is when we're using it into the Victory, we're going to go probably more of a tube screamery kind of vibe. So not too much gain, take some of the bass end out, tighten and boost. And then with the Fender, we're just going to use it like a straightforward, let's see if we can get a great distortion sound. So where should we start?
Well, why don't we start on the left-hand side with the slightly... your
clean.
emergency exit is in the Fender. If the mask descends, breathe, don't forget everybody else around you, just breathe your own air. You know, help yourself before helping others.
Do you have one of those? I'm sorry if every video we do today I'm going to go off on a tangent, but do you feel like, because I've flown loads, so I've seen one of those demonstrations probably 100 times, but I get this little, so when it first starts, I just carry on reading my book or whatever, and then literally about 2 seconds in, I go, I don't want to jinx this. So you know, I don't want to literally, like, the one that I don't watch will be the one where we crash, and it'll be like, oh, I can't remember where the exits are. So I always
don't
watch.
get the jinxy thing, no, I watch, I pay attention and make sure that I can help others around me if I really need to.
Wow.
I like that in English. It's perfectly acceptable to say bugger.
I've got some.
But
beer.
if you know what bugger means,
I got sent some beer, which I'll go and get at lunchtime to show you. So I got sent some beer for the show.
Right, this Palladium then.
Yeah, sorry. Right, clean amp, go.
Do you know the guy that wrote that Top Gun theme tune?
No.
Is the guitar player for what's his name? Steve Stevens or
what? The Billy Idol's guitar player? He endorses everything.
He's brilliant though.
Yeah, good guitar player for sure. Good guitar. I didn't know he wrote that though.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, let's see. Now, because we've got this parametric EQ on here, it enables us to adjust the frequency that we want to either boost or scoop the mid-range on.
Yo.
So let's see if we can go full 90s metal scoopalicious.
Oh, okay, right. It's a really slow creeping depth.
I kick up. That sounds good. Obviously, if I go the other way with the mid-range and
can I just say I didn't think it didn't really do that thing.
Really?
Nah.
I love it when it sounds like that.
This is more of a classic kind of leady, bluesy, ambient and sort of rocking lead thing.
Yep.
For a chord, I don't think it's a chuggy metal thing. Personally, could be wrong.
Yeah,
Shoot me down in flames if you will.
I thought it sounded good. Right, what I'm going to do now is do the opposite. So we're going to turn the mid-range up and try and find a frequency where this sounds good with the mid-range boosted.
So what kind of vibe are you going for here then? A lead vibe. Well, I'd say it's not really doing that. Not through that amp, but maybe through a different amp.
I think it was. I just had to find it. You just didn't give me time.
Find it, Lee.
Okay. So that's the idea of a kind of a parametric EQ, is it just gives you that ability to fine tune exactly how you want the mid-range to respond. And I think we all agree kind of the mid-range element of an electric guitar sound is the most powerful.
Electric guitar.
It is. That's what it does, isn't it?
Bass guitar.
Okay. Let's go into the mildly driven Victory and... Now, typically speaking,
is that off?
Yeah, on
Okay,
a tube screamery type vibe, it's all about tightening the sound. So it's not necessarily it adds a little bit of gain, but not a lot of gain, and tightens the sound. So we'll see what happens with this. That sounds great. Like that?
Yeah.
Sorry, did I spoil your fun?
It's fine. I was really getting into the sweepy bit, and then
I like
you
to
deactivated the sweep.
I like to turn it on and off during whilst you're playing, just so that people can see that it is the pedal adding something.
By the way,
not just
it's just so that the viewers, any guitar playing viewers, know it's one of the hardest things I do is play guitar while he's changing the knobs.
Sorry.
Because no, it's fine. That's our job to do this, to show off the tones.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to play guitar and then suddenly it's a completely different sound, you're like, oh my god, no, I have to play a different, and then a different thing, and then it's like the chameleon.
That's why you're paid the big bucks, right?
Lee has the chameleon fingers. It's the hand of change. Constantly.
I like it. So, do you want to hear a little bit more of that?
I think.
Or should we do the 2-amp thing?
We should do the 2-amp thing, and then Lee has just acquired something new.
I have.
That we should talk about.
So,
2
cool.
amps.
2 amps. Here we go. This is what it sounds like with no pedal. Great.
That's fun.
The only thing I would say is you really want different settings for the Victory as you do for the Fender. So kind of if you do have a 2-amp rig, what you need to buy is 2 Palladium
And the
pedals.
reason is because this has got a little bit of drive in the preamp section.
For sure.
This doesn't really have
I tell you what I was liking, if we just go back to the Fender and just getting those higher gain sort of solo-y sounds, I liked it with the delay on as well. We're using a
Trail.
a Seymour Duncan delay pedal just to keep the Seymour Duncan love going in this video, but I do like that. Oh, sorry! Monster. That's great.
Sounded a bit U2 at the end. I like that. It's like Achtung, baby.
Achtung, baby. Let me try it with this Stratocaster then.
Well, tell us about the Strat, Lee.
Oh, I've been hankering after this guitar ever since Pete first showed it to me, and I think Pete just felt sorry for me one day and said, "Fine, go on then." We don't really know what it is. It's a mix of an original Fender neck from 64, 65, something like that. There's some bits about it that are 64-ish, some bits about it that are 65-ish. Some people might call it a transition neck.
Is it a 64.5 then?
Possibly, yes. And then the body is some old Japanese Tokai.
It's got a couple of marks.
Strat. This is played on the Brit Awards. So I've kind of said to Pete, although I'm sort of buying it off of him, I've kind of said, look, if you regret the decision, you can buy it back if you want. We'll have joint custody.
Right, yeah.
Is what we've kind of said. So.
Are you ready?
Needs a bit more gain.
Got
and maybe a
it.
bit more brightness, maybe.
Okay.
Do you know what? I feel bad. I steal all his guitars, I steal his riffs, I steal everything. You know. There you go. Sorry, Pete.
Leave people.
Put it through the little bit less gain and through both amps simultaneously.
Do it.
Oh, it's going to go noisy. Oh!
That's great.
Sounds good. I love
very
that
good.
guitar. I like that pedal a lot.
Yeah. I think it's a really good creamer. I call it a creamer. You
It's
get
a-
coffee and get creamer. Coffee
Yeah.
is your like your crunchy pedals. This is like the kind of, you know what, I need a bit more
Yeah.
saturated.
I think this is one of those pedals. It's quite expensive. So
Right.
they sell for like between £250, £300, dollars, whatever you are. So I kind of think it's probably...
How many gold pieces?
Huh? How many gold pieces? Gosh, I can't remember what the exchange rate in Dungeons and Dragons gold pieces to actual money was, but probably about 12.
12.
Yeah.
12 gold pieces.
Something
Well, that's
like that.
actually
Depends
pretty
how much
good
you have.
value.
It depends which market you're in and what sort of a
pretty good.
haggle you're going to have.
Yeah, might have to delve a few dungeons just to
to
get
be
extra
honest, with you,
gold pieces for it.
if I had a warrior with me, I'd just intimidate the seller.
Yeah.
And probably kill him and take it.
I have such a great idea for a video.
I would say that the really what I think I would do with this pedal to make it better value is to see it as a pedal that actually would probably do a bit of everything. So rather than maybe go out and buy 2 or 3 pedals that were maybe £100 each and each one do a certain thing, this does a few things. So I guess that's how you might justify the cost on it. I'll tell you what else it does, which I think is a bit weird with pedals. But it comes in a choice of colours.
I like that. That's cool.
You know, black or white, basically.
Yeah, but no one. Well, okay, black and white. That's not really much of a choice. But if it was like red, blue, yellow, that's actually quite a cool thing.
Fair enough.
Oh, I have definitely been Rob Chapman.
And I have probably been the captain.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
This is Rory from the UK. Tell me about Rory.
So he edits videos. Rory's awesome.